Jacksonville Jaguars at number 10 take a guy that wasn't on anybody's first round mock that I saw, and that's Tyson Alu. He has been dubbed as the best five technique in the drafts from some experts. He is kind of typecast, if you will. They have him down as a defensive tackle, but I think for the Jacksonville setup, he's going to kick out to the end and play a little five technique defensive end if they do go in a 3-4 look. And if they do go 4-3, I mean, as a three technique D tackle, he's quick enough to get through and maybe cause a little penetration. It's kind of a sneaky pick. I don't think a lot of people were expecting that. A lot of people thought maybe quarterback, but
Yeah, I think you could have traded back and you could have got him. I mean, unless he was high on other people's boards, a guy like that you could have traded. You know, you could have definitely traded back to get that guy.
right.
I don't really agree with that pick. I mean, if you really like the guy, they say if you really like the guy, you go get him. But I don't think you could have actually traded out of that spot to get him.
Yeah, they maybe
Some
could
money.
have stockpiled a couple picks. I agree. Well, at 11, the Denver Broncos were on the clock, and they traded that pick to the San Francisco 49ers. Took Anthony Davis, the offensive tackle from Rutgers, who is a great value there at 11. I think the Niners needed to shore up some things on the offensive line, and they did that. They had a couple picks in the first round, so they went ahead and shored up that line on the left side, and got a real good blocking guy and a guy who can also work well in the running game. I like Anthony Davis. I think he played well at Rutgers, so we'll see how he does week in and week out. I've heard some scouts say he played great against good people and he played average against average people. So we'll see how he does in the NFL.
I mean, I actually thought he went pretty high considering all the character issues that a lot of the draft gurus were saying. That was the major concern. But the guy, he's a decent. He's a good player. I mean, so I mean, actually kind of high.
Yeah.
But hey, it is what it is.
Number 12, we had another trade. The Miami Dolphins traded out of the 12th spot, and San Diego Chargers jumped in, and they went ahead and got Ryan Matthews, a running back from Fresno State. Matthews is a guy that we all, and every mock I saw, they had him targeted for the Chargers. The fact that they moved up to grab him was kind of surprising. I think that they maybe were a little worried they weren't going to get their guy. I think that they were, pretty bent on grabbing him, and they made sure they got him.
Now, I think the reason because you don't really want to trade up to get a guy like. I mean, I didn't. It was kind of weird that they traded up this far, but then you have to think that probably the Giants were actually looking at Ryan Matthews.
Yeah, they probably got word that somebody was going to make a move somewhere.
The Giants were looking at C.J. Spiller pretty tough. So probably the Giants were like, second best guy, let's go with Ryan Matthews. Chargers got a little anxiety and went ahead and made the trade and got moved up. But hey, they needed it back anyway. So
yeah, they definitely did. Next up, we got the 13th pick in the draft, and the Philadelphia Eagles made a move to get into the draft, and they went ahead and took Brandon Graham, outside linebacker, defensive end from Michigan, who played great in the Senior Bowl. I mean, he really dominated at times.
Yeah.
And the Eagles need a pass rusher. They like to bring the heat, and they need somebody that's going to help do that. So I think it's a good pickup. I mean, obviously they wanted him, they targeted him, and they went up and they got him. So
I'm a big fan of the pick. Big fan of the pick. I mean, the more that I research about him, and the more that the guy's got talent. He reminds me of a Dwight Freeney type. And with Trent Cole coming off the other side, and a guy like this, hopefully can step in and make plays. I mean, it's solid, I guess.
We'll see. You never know. Time will tell. At 14, Seattle Seahawks stayed pat, and they went ahead and drafted Earl Thomas, safety from Texas. A lot of people said is just a great rangy safety. I mean, built in the Ed Reed type mold, a guy that can play center field and really read and react. And when he takes the ball to the house, don't be surprised because he may do it a lot. So he's that kind of guy who's got ball hawking skills and is always in the right place. And out in that division, when you have Larry Fitzgerald out there, you need a guy who can play center field and kind of hold it down for you. So Seahawks could use his help. I think that was a good pickup.
Yeah, a solid pick. You can't go wrong with Earl Thomas. He's a playmaker. Can do a lot of good things for you. Um, Definitely solid pick. Can't go wrong.
Yeah. 15th overall, the New York Football Giants went with Jason Pierre-Paul, a defensive end from South Florida. And I think that means that Ossie Umenyiora is probably packing his bags and putting the house up on the market. Because I just don't think, I think his days are numbered there. I just don't see it working out with them.
And now with that paycheck.
Yeah, and the fact they benched him last year. And, here's an interesting stat that I had talked to when I was talking with a football guy. He told me when the Broncos played the Giants, they targeted running at Ossie Umenyiora 32 times, and he did not make one tackle. So that showed Coughlin that he just can't help out in the run game. And he wants a guy who can come off the edge and sack the quarterback, but also can hold his own in the run game. He can kind of be a double threat. And, Pierre-Paul is a physical freak. He's, a little bit taller than 6'4". He's fast. He's rangy.
Yeah,
He's
I
got
think he's
all
a
the
raw.
things you look
He's
for.
definitely a raw talent. And if they can, he's just got raw talent. And someone gets to put some work on him, he could be a beast.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude can do a backflip in pads. That's pretty athletic for a defensive end.
Yeah, absolutely. At number 16, the Tennessee Titans went with Derek Morgan from Georgia Tech. Defensive end, plays more of a 4-3 end. I think he's kind of typecast for that role. I don't see him playing that hybrid role. I mean, he can, I guess, if he had to, but I don't really see it. I think he's more of just a hand on the ground, kind of come off the edge, swim, move, get through, and get to the quarterback kind of guy. And the Titans needed that by losing Vanden Bosch, and Javon Curse's days have been long gone. So, they're looking for that next edge rusher to give the teeth a little pop so Tom Brady doesn't sit back and throw 5 touchdowns in one quarter against them anymore.
Yeah, solid pick.
Yeah, Derek Morgan's a good player from Georgia Tech, no doubt about it. Then at 17, the 49ers come back and go offensive line again. Mike Iupati from Idaho, the masher. Probably will end up playing right guard, I would imagine, and he's just going to be blowing people off the ball and smash mouth style that Mike Singletary is going to be looking for. I think Iupati brings that element to the table, and Frank Gore is just going to be pounding the rock behind this guy on the right side. And now they've got 2 first-round offensive linemen that they brought into the fold. And
yeah, I think they basically fixed their offensive line issues. It's good. It's a good day for Gore, especially when you see these 2 big guys getting signed, and those are the guys that are going to lead the way for hopefully lots of touchdowns for the 49ers.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Steelers at 18, I had them, and a lot of people did, taking Iupati because, he's that smash mouth style. But I think they were happy to take Marquise Pouncey from Florida. He's a center, offensive guard, but center by trait. I think he'll play center for the Steelers. And he does all those things. He opened up a lot of holes for Tim Tebow and the running game in Florida. He's very athletic. He can snap the ball and get out into a gap and, penetrate that gap and open up holes. So I think the Steelers addressed the need there, and they also, helped out the running game. As we know, the first 6 games next year, they're probably going to be running the ball a lot because they're going to be without Big Ben. So,
Yeah. I mean, but it's also a solid pickup, as in, with all the trade rumors and all the other stuff, it just shows that they're trying to find a solid guy to block for you for the rest of the, your stay. So, I mean, Ben Roethlisberger, they're going to stick by him, and it's a solid pick. Pouncey is probably the best center in the draft.
Yeah, I agree. At number 19, the Atlanta Falcons went with Sean Weatherspoon, outside linebacker from Missouri. People that I know that have met this young man, they glow about him. They say he's just one of the nicest, most hardworking, just an overall good kid. Character guy. You can't say enough good things about him, and I think that's a great pick for the Falcons. They need some linebacker help. They've been struggling on defense at corner. I thought they may want to go corner, but they did bring in Dante Robinson to a big contract, so kind of took a need away there. But they bring in an outside linebacker who they may try to do some different things. I don't know if he's really an edge rusher. He may be, but we'll see. Time will tell on that one.
Yeah, I think if Pouncey was still on the board, they probably would have tried and picked him up. But Weatherspoon fills a need. I mean, you guys an athlete, so
Yeah.
good pickup.